At the time of seeing this video on YouTube, it had 460 views after being out for 20 hours.
This unemployment rate, though, is amongst the highest in the world, and young people are the hardest hit. In the midst of all of this, young South Africans are writing their own inspiring stories of hope and triumph against all odds. Noluthando Sigudu is an attorney and, wow, an extraordinary story of perseverance after working as a waitress to be able to fund her studies, and they join me now to share their stories.
2 days later, the video had been watched 580 times. Imagine that. People are complaining about education and jobs, but somehow content that will tell them how others made it barely performs. I'm Katlaho, welcoming you to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. Before we get into it, please like the video and also subscribe to the channel. If you go to other posts from the EFF or other South African content makers who want you to believe that we are just victims, you will notice that the views are very high. They have outsourced the work and effort it takes to achieve something. They've outsourced it to parties like the EFF. They've placed all their faith into the hands of people like Julius Malema. People would rather have the idea that they are oppressed than believe that they have the power to work their way out of poverty. Through effort, hard work, connecting with people, and being humble, they too can be achievers. This beautiful young woman is clearly someone who cares about her future. Instead of spending her money on buying beautiful dresses or an iPhone or holidays and even a bank loan for a VW Polo before she could afford them, she chose to invest in her future. She funded her own success. She had a dream. She took the best jobs that she could find at that time and used her earnings for the benefit of her future. She was a waitress. The jobs that Julius Malema says are not important. The jobs that Julius Malema mocks, making it look like they are useless. She saw value in those jobs and took them. But the people that would rather sit at home and support Malema are listening to Malema saying waiting jobs and security jobs are not what he's fighting for.
And I truly don't believe South Africans are xenophobic.
Yes.
I feel like the issue and the notion of xenophobia is a very simplistic view of the issues of South Africa. South Africans are unemployed, Julius.
Yes.
That's a fact. South Africans don't have economic power. That's a fact. The very same illegal, undocumented foreign nationals are being used as truck drivers, as waiters and waitresses, and they're used as cheap labor because the employer gets away with murder. It disenfranchises the South African who is also looking for that job. I'm not saying every South African is going to want to be a truck driver, but it's certainly taking away the opportunity from that South African that wants to be that truck driver. So then how then do we start reconciling it? Because at the heart of it, it's economic issues, and we can't run away from that. So where do you reconcile and say, yeah, there are too many illegal foreign nationals here that are being used by capital as a form of cheap labor?
Well, it's imaginary. There's no such a thing that there are illegal foreigners who are waiters and waitresses. It's unscientific. It's not proven. It's not true.
You who support the EFF are supporting a man that supports foreigners taking these jobs from South Africans and from legal foreigners. These small jobs are sending people to school. They are feeding people's families. Noluthando is an example of a responsible young individual who may have other flaws like many of us, that is all of us in this country, but she focused. The goal is all that mattered to her.
You just need to dream about it, and you must also be willing to put in the work, because a dream remains just a dream if you're not going to put in the work. So you need to be disciplined. You must be willing to work and also fund your dreams if you don't have the funding and all that.
I'm always one of those people, when I want something, I go after it. Yeah. I don't know if it's grace or if it's the courage or whatever, but I always end up getting what I want.
She was also assisted by her sister, which shows the importance of family, the importance of working together. Great teamwork goes further than well-funded people with no teamwork. Thank you to organizations like Spur and promo companies for making these restaurant jobs available to students. And well done to Noluthando for choosing to accept these jobs and using them as a stepping stone to where you wanted to be. She could have had babies and relied on SASSA grants, but she didn't. Today, here she is, an attorney. She could have been saying, I am young, let me party and drink every weekend. I make enough money to enjoy myself. But instead, she used the small jobs she had to catapult herself to great heights. Weekends were used for hustling instead of being at the clubs. That's Black excellence, and her message is clear. Take responsibility for your life. Instead of expecting other taxpayers to fund your life, use your head, use your hands, use honest connections and find your way. Others doi for fees must fall, while others pay their own fees. Others rise through corruption, while others rise through honest means. Carol Bauer is not Black excellence. Edwin Sodi is not Black excellence. Mam Kize is not Black excellence. This young lady, Noluthando the attorney, is an example of Black excellence, perseverance, dedication, and vision. Here she was being interviewed on a YouTube channel called Bernice M. To this day, that video still has not reached 3,000 views. That is in 2 years. But videos on how you're a victim, how you're oppressed and can't make it because of the past gets thousands of views in their first day. Videos from the EFF have reached hundreds of thousands in views in the same period. And this is very sad. Anyway, from waiting tables at Spur, she even worked at Pick n Pay from the look of things.
And then I got a job at Pick n Pay campaign.
I like that she even shares tips about making cash as a student.
Yeah.
So I did promo jobs like during weekends. There were like upset promotions, and I worked for what was it? Like some sort of a promo
agency that does promotions, like promo work. Yeah, I remember also did promo work when I was in varsity. They really do
like they help, and it's good money.
It is actually good money. I mean, it's a lot of standing, but it's good money. I remember I was towards the end of my studies. I was doing like 2 subjects. I had no funding at the time. It's like my carry over, so I had no funding at the time. My parents were paying my rent, and I had to I had to work on the weekends so I can get extra cash, buy my groceries and all that other stuff. So promos, like if you're in varsity right now, you need a little extra cash or whatever, just look for a promo company near you. You can make some really good money as a student.
That's good money. You can also go to Spur.
Yeah, you can also go to Spur.
Yes, you can make money there if, and that's a big if, Malema's illegal foreigners are not working there already. That is why students need to know that Julius is not here to help them. Noluthando is sharing things that most people know, but these are issues that have to be repeated over and over so that people really get it into their heads. I loved how she mentioned how disorganized or unfair everything that involves Comrades becomes. And she's right. She's definitely right.
Like when I got to TAF, we got there, I was with this other guy who was doing final year. So they were like, sissy, there's no more space in LLB.
Wow.
Like, what? Like,
but I got accepted.
But I was like, what? I was like, no, you know, more seasoned. I'm a Comrades. Like, there were people that like literally pick from the queue and be like, oh, is that what? And then eventually they'll be like, there's no more space. Oh my gosh.
You see the way that Black people do things sometimes, it's just not on.
I can't take another gap here. It's like,
imagine the Comrades, ne? That's how land is going to be handled, by the way. If you have a big bum, Comrades will pick you from the back of the line and say, come get some land. If you're related to the Comrades, they'll pick you from the back of the line to get some land. If you can bribe, they will pick you from the back of the line to get land. And if you're not connected, don't have bribe, don't look a certain way, sorry, no land for you. And Bernice is also right. The way Black people do things sometimes, it's not on. It's not all blacks, by the way. It's the comrades that are usually like that. The message is clear. Know what you really want to do and do it. Get help where you can. Noluthando's sister helped. Random people also helped. Perseverance is what will get you there. Instead of enjoying her youth, she pushed herself to achieve something in her youth. Now she has her own company, and who knows where she will end up. We hope that no rotten people will try to corrupt her work and her business. We wish her success in her business, and may our young people learn from Noluthando. I hope that we get more content like this from our YouTubers in South Africa and all of Africa. YouTubers and content that bring value, that bring hope to the African people. Remember that is why channels like Life Reset with Boni means so much to me. Meanwhile, others are busy toying and trying to put all their hope into the hands of the comrades while they party on weekends. Responsible people work for their future. They think clearly about what they want to achieve. They think clearly about how to achieve it, and they work towards it. That same responsible person votes for their future using the same mindset. I just thought of sharing that today. If you want to go and check out the content involving this positive story of Noluthando, the links are in the description section below. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. Until next time, beware of the comrades.